Good early morning, everybody. You are listening to the live podcast of Real Still Sports with James M. Krishnarik. I hope everybody's weekend, which is, for most people who worked a 9-to-5 job, been for about 7-8 hours now. I hope everyone's enjoying it. I am certainly enjoying it. Hung out with my girlfriend tonight and also got a chance to watch some of the Winter X Games, which is very entertaining. I gotta be honest, those guys can snowboard and ski, and that's something that takes some serious skill right there. Makes us lowly tennis players look like nothing. But speaking of tennis, in a few hours coming up in Australia will be the women's final between China's Li Na and Slovakian Dominika Cibulkova. It's going to be really interesting to see how this match plays out because you've got two players who got here and are completely different. You've got the short Cibulkova against the domineering Li Na. It's going to be interesting. Because Cibulkova's been hitting with some tremendous firepower off the ground, taking out Sharapova, taking out, Radwanska as convincingly as she did. Then you got Li Na, who took out that took Jeannie Bouchard from Canada, who had a really good run, who knocked off, I can't remember who she beat. But, I just think it's going to be interesting to see how these two players go against each other, because they haven't played anybody quite like each other this tournament. Cibulkova's not played anybody who can hit as big off the ground as consistently as Li Na, and Li Na's not played anybody who's been a giant killer like Cibulkova. Personally, I'm not going to make this a really long sports bit because, I really have a lot to break down. But I will say in terms of most categories, serve, forehand, backhand, I would give a big edge to Li Na. Experience has she's won a major advantage to her. The court plays to her advantage with the topspin that she's been hitting and the fact that her shots are flatter in a way because they can go through the court. It made no sense, the topspin and flatter thing. But Li Na's shots are flat but have enough topspin to drop in the court. But the best thing I can say is that it's just going to be an interesting match because Cibulkova has been such an underdog this whole tournament. And yet, whenever she's had to play in the big moments against some good opponents, I did not expect Radwanska to play as flatly, but even if Radwanska could play a little better, I don't think it would have made a difference. That match was going to be 2 sets either way. 1 and 2 just had to be the way it was. In my opinion, this match is going to be decided by which player keeps it together mentally. Because both these players can kind of go on walkabouts, but at the same time, Li Na has been more consistent in her career mentally. Cibulkova's kind of hung around the top 20 her whole career. She's only 24, so she's got plenty of time left. She's been as high as number 12 in the world, which was right after she turned 20. And she's been to at least the quarters of every single Grand Slam she's entered. So it's not like she's not been around, not played well. It's just the fact that, she's not played, in some big matches as well. She's lost some chances in Grand Slams, to get to later rounds. Breaking through this year at the Australian Open, I think, does a lot of good for her. Her game is very, very, how should I put this? Her game is very much suited to the courts because she's aggressive. She can be kind of hit or miss, but at the same time, when she's hitting big, she's hitting consistent, it's kind of tough to really beat or play with anybody who's playing like that. But the same can be said for Li Na, who's been playing very well the last few years. You figure as her age is getting up there, she's a veteran now. She's going to be 30. She's going to be 32 in just over a month. She's won the French Open before in 2011. She's been in the final of the Australian Open. This is her third time around, third in 4 years. She's been in the quarters of Wimbledon, and she's been in the semis of the U.S. Open. But in some big matches against some big names, she's played well. Like against Sharapova, she's played well. Like against Azarenka, she's played well. But I think it's going to be really tough in this match for her, to kind of steamroll her way like she's been doing with some opponents in this tournament. Like she just steamrolled Jeannie Bouchard. She hasn't really been tested that much this tournament. But I look for that to change in this final. I think Cibulkova is actually going to give her a half-decent test. I think it's going to be somewhat tough for her. But at the end, I expect Li Na to walk away with her second career major, and I think she does it in 2 very tight sets. I say 7-5, 7-5, somewhere along those lines. And to be close, I think that Cibulkova is going to keep it interesting in her first Grand Slam final, and I think that Li Na is going to walk home with her second career Grand Slam. Did I say second or first Slam final for Cibulkova? I can't remember. But yeah, I'd say Li Na is going to win this match. Straight sets, but close. Very close. Maybe even 3 sets. Hope you guys enjoy that. And also, I will be breaking down my Australian Open final prediction. That'll be coming up very shortly.